podcast. We're going to recap UFC Fight Night Bonfim, Randy Brown, and I'm so sad for my boy, Rude Boy. Um, and then we are going to preview one of the most exciting cards I think we've ever seen as fans collectively. Would you guys agree with that, Tanner? Do you think what? We'll reference some past cards probably, but this is amazing. So we'll get into UFC 322, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. He's our teammate. George Novo, the MMA super fan, is with us after a massive Bears win today. What a crazy game. Caleb Williams got that one for you guys. Hey, the punter for who was that? The Giants. You are terrible. Tanner Dunphy, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. How are you, sir? Let's get into this.
Great after watching some fucking awesome jujitsu last night.
Hey, one
Let's
for the
jump into it.
nerds.
Yeah, one for the nerds, man. There's something I'm gonna hopefully be breaking down this weekend. We'll get into that, or this week. We'll get into that. So last night, November 8th, in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Apex Center, we had UFC Fight Night, Bonfim versus Brown. Started at 4 p.m. Eastern time for the prelims, and starting us off, poor Jackson McVeigh.
I told you.
He had his fight with Dante Johnson fizzled out. Then Robert Valentin came in, and Valentin withdrew because he had a back injury. And then he gets dealt a murderer in Zach Reese, who gets the rear naked choke in round 2. Also, this bout was supposed to be at 185, but because Zach Reese had to come in at such late notice, they did it at 195. And Zach Reese got the submission of the night, $50K bonus for this one. Tell us about it, Will.
Dude, this was kind of the worst case scenario for Jackson McVeigh because it went as bad as it possibly could go. Talking about some numbers here, Zach Reese total strikes 81 out of 97. He had 3 successful takedowns on 3 attempts, and he hits like a truck, man. You know, especially with that weight given to him now, it's not an issue like we had later on in the card with one of the Bonfim brothers, which was just negligence. Zachary Reese, he couldn't make the weight because it was such short notice, and he still got closer than Bonfim. Zach Reese comes out and he does what Zach Reese does, and he put big shots on him, took him down, and he strangled him. Jackson McVeigh, like Tanner said, went through the ringer with opponents, and really this kid deserves some monicum of credit here because he could have said no to any of those other fights, especially the Robert Valentin fight. Okay, this is how it happens. The Dante Johnson fight falls through. You get Robert Valentin, scary striker. Maybe he's not the best grappler in the world. Big power. Oh, scrap him. And then we get a better version of Robert Valentin, Zach Reese. This dude has absolute nukes and way better grappling. And Jackson McVeigh, man, hopefully you get a favorable matchup in your next fight for being a G.
Yeah. George, what did you think of it? George, you're muted.
Hey there. Man. What can I say? I was on the phone with the missus. Um, wow. Jackson, man, and Zachary Reese. McVeigh came in there looking like he was ready to wrestle a bear. But Reese said, "Nah, man, you're my teddy bear." After a wild first round where he tried to play hero with the takedowns, man, Reese flipped the script in round 2 and locked in that RNC at 138 and squeezed the soul out of this man. Submission win for Reese. McVeigh tapped out faster than your spotty Wi-Fi at the hospital, man.
Yes. I don't blame him. It was immediately under the chin too. I believe both this one and the next one.
Oh, so there'll be no calling back saying that the fight was thrown because it wasn't this. It was an actual. Yeah, okay.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of the next bout, Daniel Marcos at 135 getting the rear naked choke on Miles Johns, moving to 18-1 in round 2. What'd you think on that one, Will?
I think Daniel Marcos owes us like 5% of his purse because he avoided the contact in the pocket like we said he wasn't going to win, and he did what we knew he would be better at. and he drug Miles Johns to the ground. He got that, his arms heavy. You know, you don't want to deal with Miles Johns' power early in his athletic ability. So Daniel Marcos did what he had to do. And man, did he look great. He looked absolutely great. I thought he was going to try to get into a slugfest with Miles Johns and get knocked out. And I am so glad he chose to grapple him.
So is he. George?
Man, Johns looks so surprised, like he just realized his corner forgot to tell him about defense. Marcos is now on a streak. Dude's undefeated and spicier than a Peruvian ceviche.
Yes. Speaking of spicy, Denise Gomes at 115 getting the unanimous decision over Tisha Pennington. She immediately, you saw him come out, meet in the middle, and she was just, I mean, probably 4 or 5 inches taller than Tisha Pennington. And she was throwing heat from the get-go. Tisha was doing great, but just outpowered, outsized. I want to know what Denise cuts to make this. Will?
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is just one of those situations we talk about sometimes where, you know, the more skilled fighter loses because of basically ops, right? The optics of the fight.
Weight
Denise
cuts
Gomes
and-
wasn't. Yeah. Tisha Pennington was more skilled. Her footwork's better. Her striking's better, right? Technically, she's better all the way around.
Even in
But
the
Denise
grappling
Gomes-
exchanges, she was getting out. Denise couldn't hold her down, couldn't keep her down, nothing.
Right. Tisha Pennington is basically a representative of a very clean technical martial artist, and Denise Gomes is an example of a dirty, rotten cage fighter, right? She's just a fighter. She's going to go in there. She's going to get after it the whole fucking time, right? I stole that from Chael Sonnen, by the way. That's not mine. Tisha Pennington, yeah, she looked great as always. We don't know. She's in a weird place. Where does she go from here? But I don't know. I think she's still in there. I don't think she's out. I don't think you throw her away by any means. She's still got a lot to offer. She looked great, but really, I think she has more options than Denise Gomes, because who do you put Gomes with next?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great showing for Gomes because she couldn't. But again, it's Tisha Pennington, formerly Tisha Torres. She's just difficult to deal with in general. She's always on that bicycle. She's always putting something in your face. Even if it's not getting to you, she's throwing out, right? I think you're right. I think this doesn't do much for Denise Gomes, and it puts Pennington in a weird spot too, because yeah, she's lost 3 of her last 5, but excuse me, 2 of those are split decision, 1 to the current champ, you know, and she's faced every single champ of this division. I mean, she's a game fighter, and she's got a 19 now. This was her 19th UFC fight.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it'd be right to even think about cutting her. She is 11-8 in the UFC, which is kind of wild to think, but all of her losses are decisions. She's an exciting fighter. Hopefully they don't cut her, but we'll see. George?
Oh man, I feel like Tisha had this fight until it got gritty, until she got pushed up against the cage, and that reversal changed the whole tide of that fight. And I agree with you guys. I don't think that was so much technical. That was more just being heavier and more explosive. I think that, like you said, she was just at a disadvantage. There was no tornado there, and sucks, man, that she blew the comeback story for her.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's move on to heavyweight. Josh Hockett not letting Max Jimenez even try to grab a hold of him. Getting it done in 56 seconds of round 1 with a massive hook and some follow-up shots that shut Jimenez off. Hockett getting a $50K bonus for that knockout. And calling out Walter Walker having a hell of an after-fight post-speech, stealing some lines from the great undefeated Chael Sonnen.
He stole Chael's whole speech. What do you mean? He
He took a couple speeches and put them together.
No, he did. You're right.
He left out some parts of each of them. But
Yeah.
man, what a showing, dude. He calls out Walter Walker and Walter, bud. I don't think that's a smart. Also, Walter broke his leg in his last fight.
What?
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
For
first
throwing kicks?
kick, I guess he broke his leg and then still got that heel hook finish. So I don't think
Stud.
Hockett, don't wait for that fight. You're
Yeah,
on
don't do
fire,
that. It's
dude. You're 7-0. You're just killing it. I mean, 4 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission. Keep going. Keep it rolling. Fight somebody else. You know, there's plenty of heavyweights. And with what he's shown, there's plenty of heavyweights that he will demolish.
Mm.
What do you think, Will?
I think athletically and okay, he's come a long way, even from the Contender Series, right? With his striking. That right hand was a missile. You could tell he was fixated on it, though, because his wrestling and athletic ability is so good. He knew that Jimenez couldn't take him down. And I don't believe Jimenez could take him down. He was a D1 wrestler at Fresno State and a fullback for the 49ers. And if you watch him fight and you watch him grapple, he has such great hips and awareness of what's going on in the scrambles. He is talented. You know, those guys are cringy to me when they do the wrestler thing because I have such PTSD from Colby Covington's piece of shit ass. Because Colby Covington used to be awesome. He used to be a dark horse. We talked about him. We were on the Colby Covington train until he turned into a shitbag. So he's also associated with that Jackson Wink camp and those turds, right? If you're like a Jackson Wink guy, you're like super egotistical and you're very hard to deal with. Hopefully he's not that. He seems fun. He's got the Randy Savage bit going on along with the Chael Sonnen trying to do his own little thing there. Honestly, though, I think ultimately he's going to end up being a 205er and a fucking damn good one at that. But right now, he's smoking the guys who are not as athletic as him. Wait till he gets up there to like a Mario Pinto or, you know, Waldo Cortez. Sergey Spivak will beat the fucking shit out of him. Or, sorry, Sergey Pavlovich. Sorry, not Spivak. Yeah. So I think once he gets up to the top 5, if he wants to touch gold, he's going to have to be a 205er just because of the guys up there. You know, Tom Aspinall's not going to struggle with Josh Hokett, but Cyril Gahn's not going to struggle with him.
Them hands are a problem.
They're not more.
And he's built like the type of heavyweight that does well.
Sure, but Tanner, let's talk about his hands against Max fucking Jimenez, the BJJ guy that is just purely a BJJ guy. He found striking this year. And let's admit it, too. He's not the most athletic BJJ guy. If he can't get that single leg, look what Nicky Rod did to him. Granted, that's Nicky Rod, but
I got to look at some of his other matches, too, though, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando Sanchez is a big one to me. And, you know, going the distance with Felipe Pena once and then lasting almost 10 minutes with Felipe Pena previously. I don't know. But I think Josh Hokett has a good future. Keep developing, keep fighting. The unranked heavyweights, there's not.
He's going to get to the top 10 without even thinking about going to 205.
And if he gets to top 10 and he takes his time and he does it right, we're going to see him develop into an even scarier prospect.
Yeah.
George?
Man, that fight was shorter than a Kardashian marriage. And it was amazing. I would like to see them get Gable Stevenson and Josh Hokett and let them kill each other. And let Robert Frank ref it. And, you know, make sure you give those guys pre-workout and, you know, Zen pouches before they get in there.
Hey, clip this right now. Dana White, you want to bring Gable over and you want us MMA purists to not be mad about you just bringing him over? We will let you pass on Contender Series. We will let you pass on the Ultimate Fighter if you sign Gable Stevenson tonight and book a fight with him and Josh Hokett. He beats Josh Hokett, he's in. But I got $1,000 that says Josh Hokett finishes Gabe Stevenson.
I would pay to see it. Put that on a pay-per-view and I'm in.
Put that on a cracker, dude.
Put that on a cracker, dude.
$1,000 cash money.
Yes. All right. Moving on to 135 in the women's division. Jacqueline Cavalcanti beating up Myro Bueno Silva in 3 rounds, getting the unanimous decision. This was pretty one-sided. At one of the judges gave Silva 1 round, and you saw even her kind of cock her head like, "What? I didn't win a round." It was very clear to me. What did you think, Will?
Yeah, no, Buena's just. I think she believed her own Kool-Aid and she stopped progressing. And she seems like, you remember those guys? We'll meet them in the gym and they're like the best guy in their gym. They don't travel anywhere to train, so they never get humbled. And then, outside guys come in and smoke them, even lower belts, because they live on this fake plateau, right? That they're just the best. I think Bueno Silva plateaued and she didn't strive for anything better. And Jacqueline Cavalcante kind of humbled her, man. I didn't see, as you said, I didn't see any blemish at all as to where Jacqueline lost that fight. I think it was one-way traffic, and Myra Bueno Silva has some soul searching to do.
Every round, I legitimately don't understand how one of the judges gave Silva a round.
No.
But George, what do you think?
Yeah, I believe she got outstruck completely by Jacqueline. Looked like whenever she I don't know. Maybe it was whenever she kind of got stuck. I felt like they were both trying to set up counters, and neither one of them were throwing. There was a lot of checkmating and stalling out in that. Maybe that's why he gave Myra that 1 round.
No.
But then she turned it on. It seemed like late after the second round, she was like, all right, now I'm going to start throwing volume instead of just waiting for a bomb. And, sometimes you got to do that. You can't sit there and hang back and be like Anderson Silva and wait for the perfect opening. It's not going to present itself like that in every fight.
Absolutely.
Especially when they have that good footwork like Jacqueline. She's got great footwork, and her jab is so good.
Yeah. All right. Next up in the men's 135, Rony Barcelos taking out Ricky Simone, just shutting down Ricky anytime he tried to grapple. He couldn't get in. Rony actually got him down several times, and then outclassing him in the striking to get that unanimous decision. What do you think, Will?
I think it was a real bad look on DC's part, and no shade on DC. They called it when he was going to the cage. He went to Gilroy, California, and trained with Daniel Cormier. And on his walk to the cage, the announcer said that DC, I went out there to learn some wrestling, and DC only wanted to show me some striking. Well, you should have just learned the wrestling, because that wasn't good advocacy for DC striking. I don't know, man. Rony Barcelos was just, like you said, a step ahead of him everywhere. He looked like the vet that he was. Ricky had moments. Ricky was doing everything he could to stay in the fight. He was in there the whole time like he is. But Rony Barcelos, man, he just keeps coming. And for his age, the UFC's like, please fucking lose, man. We don't want you to get up there and compete for a title at 40 years old. Good on him, man. Great fight.
Was that Ricky that you were saying went to train with DC?
Yes.
Poor him, man. That sucks, because also poor me in my slip, because I had him getting more than 2 takedowns and he didn't get a single one. God dang. George?
Man, these bantamweight vets were trading leather like Black Friday. Simon pushed the pace, man, or excuse me, Shimon. Barcelos counted beautifully, landing cleaner shots and beating the grappling for unanimous decision. Barcelos looks like old leather. And bro, I don't know who's gonna derail his win streak right now, but he's like akin to that old man at the barbecue that's been sipping Hennessy all night, that gets tired of the young bucks, starts cranking the hand. I got one left in me.
He does.
Old dogs can still bite, man.
I want you to look at his last 3 wins. Peyton Talbot, Cody Garbrandt, and Ricky Simone.
Good God.
Right?
Speaking of
Dana's Talbot, like, please lose.
Did you see his response to being on that dude's podcast? Yeah, you have to look it up. I can't remember that guy's name. It's a big dude that's associated with it. It'd come to me if I think a little bit. But yeah, basically he actually took his nuts out and sent it to the guy in a video.
Whoa.
Did the D's nuts.
Okay.
Hmm.
Let's move on.
Well, that's how he feels about that.
Yeah. Next up at 145, Jamal Emmers probably killing a lot of people's slips when he beat Hyder Emil via unanimous decision. And he didn't just beat him. I mean, he made it obvious.
Yep.
He was able to ragdoll Hyder, and there was nothing Hyder looked like he was super sluggish. I don't know if it was him getting cracked or getting tossed, what happened, but rounds 2 and 3, Hyder was not Hyder anymore. What do you think, Will?
Well, they showed him, I think, Hey Jives picks. Hayden Iverson, if you guys are into sports betting, go ahead and follow him on social media. One of the best in the game, if not the best right now. I tail his stuff all the time. He always shows the worst weight cuts on the fight weekend. Hyder Emil did not look good on the scales, bud. And, you know, I picked Hyder
That makes
Emil. I
sense.
think George did too, because he's known for being just a demon in your face the entire time, constant offense. He did not look like himself. Jamal Emmers looked great. He looked on fire and deserved that win. Hopefully Hyder Emil is okay and we'll see him back to himself. He might have to go up a weight class. He is a big, big boy, and if his weight cuts are taking that out of him, along with the damage that he's accumulated, he needs to save his brain, and let's see him at 55.
Okay. Yeah. George?
Oh, it was Aiden Ross. That's who
Oh.
wanted him to come out on there.
Ah,
And he sent him a picture of his nuts and said, "Stream these nuts." Let's see. I would say that in this fight, Emil came out swinging wild, but Emmers picked him apart, man, with crisp boxing and takedown defense. Emil fought like he was in a street brawl with invisible ninjas, man. I don't know. You can't just flurry at nothing. Emmers Pretty Boy lived up to the name, man. Smooth as silk and leaving Emil looking like he got hit by a featherweight truck.
yeah, he did. Oh, man. Speaking of getting hit by a truck, next up at 185, our main card start. CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan, making us all look like idiots and getting the knockout over Marco Tulio in round 2. He was beating up Marco Tulio from the start. Marco was trying to hang in there, but it was clear Christian was hitting him way harder, way faster, and more. And gosh, hit him with a spinning back fist, and then the follow-up shots shut him off. He was out for a little bit. Another one of those moments where you're like, ref could have got to him a couple seconds sooner and saved some years off of his life, maybe some brain cells. What do you think, Will?
Man, also, he's another guy that they showed on the scales, and he looked completely drawn in. He looked terrible. I think he needs to go to 205. He is so
Tulio?
big. Yes. He looked so bad on the scale. He looked like a Brazilian skeleton. Christian Leroy Duncan did CLD things, man. That's how he moves. That's what he does. He got up from the bottom. He got out of bad situations. And he started stunting on him like his teammate MVP does to people. And like Tanner said, he smoked him with that spinning back fist off the kick, which we're seeing that a lot. And you know what? Taekwondo guys have been doing that for years to clear after their kick, guys. You got to have your hands up. If you're going to catch a guy's kick, you can't just drop it and leave your hands down. All right. These Taekwondo guys are going to spin around with that ridge hand is what they call it and smoke you. If Marco Tulio, who is a tank, got rocked by that, and it was not like the most vicious spin in the world. Like I said, it was off a caught kick. You guys need to be super aware of it. And then CLD, close the distance. The nastiest right hand to put Marco Tulio face down. Hey, ref, he went face fucking down. Fight's over.
Yep.
Face down. That's universal. Every combat sport. If he falls on his nose, he takes no more fucking shots. And Mark Smith, what'd he do? Popped over there in a power squat position and watched CLD put one right on his temple, which stretched him stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got him out of there. For last week, him doing such a great job with that eye poke situation, to be so inconsistent this week and watch Marco Tulio fucking get stretched out of there. Damn, boys, we need to have some kind of fine. We need to have some kind of system where people fucking get held accountable for their actions. Guy was completely out. He was out from the punch, landed on his face. That's 2 shots, guys.
Well,
And then 8 CLD's right hand.
I want to point out 2 things. One, I believe CLD is actually bigger than Marco Tulio outside of fighting.
Yes, and he looked better on the
2
scale.
inches taller. Yeah, which is why Marco Tulio probably needs to get a diet update.
I would say that maybe
somebody to help him cut.
Well, you think he just ran that camp for Norma Dumont, his girlfriend. He was in her camp.
Oh,
so how much time did he get to actually do it right? Or did he sacrifice in that camp and then, oh shit, the weight's coming up, the weight cut's coming up, and I'm nowhere near where I need to be, you know?
Yeah. And also to your point about Mark Smith, he reffed the main event as well. And we see Randy Brown contesting that because he stopped it a little sooner. And it's, I can't fault the guy for it because he didn't want another Marco Tulio situation to happen in the same night.
Right.
And
it's a hard job too. It's a fucking
tough
hard job.
But to your point, if the fighter falls face down, that's it. It's
every
over.
Sport.
You step in immediately. That's where you fucked up. He fell face down. Run. You dive.
Run.
You pull a Muay Thai ref. Dive and try to catch his head. George, what did you think?
Man, this was a middleweight madness. Tulio pressed early, but Duncan spun like a Beyblade, man, in round 2, landing that back fist. That was beautiful. I'd say Tulio went down harder than Stocks in a crash. And that spinning shit, that was the chef's kiss. British bloke, man, bringing the heat, making Tulio's unbeaten streak go poof, goodbye.
Yes, he did.
Also, massive Shoot the Box fan here, and I was heartbroken for that one. So sad.
You know what I wasn't heartbroken about? This next one. At 155, unless your name's Ishmael Bonfim, who missed weight by 5 pounds with the 1 pound allowance, 6 pounds if it was a title fight, unless it's a title fight in Canada. I couldn't help it. Over here firing strays at my boy GSP. So Chris Padilla, Taco, getting the knockout of Ishmael Bonfim. Bonfim, did you not try to cut weight until like the day before weigh-ins or something, or the day of? Like what happened? Because he gassed so quick. Good Lord. And then he got beat up. And I was so happy to see it. What'd you think, Will?
So here you go. 2 fights back to back. Marco Tulio, weight cut went terrible. But you know what that man did? He fucking did it. He cut it all the way there. Went to death's doorstep like he promised he would do. Bonfim, he quit. He had to have quit. 6 pounds away, you quit. You didn't even try. So then he gets in there and he's throwing. Uh-oh, is my camera frozen? I'm good.
Yep. No, you're frozen on mine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, Chris Padilla, he went out there like a G, took the fight still. Yes, he took his 20%, but you know what I love that Chris Padilla did once Bonfim got gassed, he was on the fence. Chris Padilla was putting Bonfim's head against the fence and landing those elbows to the temple. He was not just throwing shots, right? He wasn't recklessly throwing, and picked him apart until he dropped, and then every shot he picked was calculated. He didn't unload. One of the refs said, watch the back of the head when he landed a 12-6 elbow right to the temple. That was surgical ground and pound surgical ground and pound by Chris Padilla. So great on him. F you, Ishmael Bonfim. And how do you get on a card when your brother's on the card and miss weight? I would beat the brakes off my brother for that.
Gosh. On not just on a card with your brother, on your brother's card, because
Yeah,
his
dude.
brother was the headliner, and his little brother's bigger than him, so he better expect an ass whooping when he gets
Yep.
back to the gym. What do you think,
While
George?
George makes his point, I'm going to refresh and come back.
Okay.
Oh man, Bonfim started sharp, man, but Padilla turned it into a ground and pound machine in round 2, battering him with punches for the TKO. Man, Taco wins. Bonfim's eyes swole up like he got stung by a bee mid-fight. Underdog story of the night, man. From unranked to holy shit, that was brutal. This was gorier than a horror movie. Bonfim couldn't see straight afterward.
it it was also pretty awesome to see or hear a whole, well, I guess not even arena, but the whole Apex Center shouting out Taco at one point. It was a nice little chant.
Yeah.
All right, moving up to 170. Euros Medic knocking out Muslim Salikov in round 1. Perfect straight left, and then some follow-up punches. But on that straight left, Muslim covered up entirely. Another instance where the ref could have easily came in and stopped it right then, and he stopped it pretty shortly after. But if you ever see them get hit in just immediately fetal position and cover, that's not intelligently defending yourself anymore. That means you got cracked and you feel like your face is broken and you don't want to do anything anymore, which is fair. What do you think, Will?
Well, in any, especially like pro fight, in the fighters meeting, they'll tell you positions of surrender. And if the guy goes completely to turtle, that's a position of surrender, after a big shot. And he kind of did that. But good on Euros Medic because he heard us talking shit, didn't he? He heard that we all picked the old guy.
I
He
didn't.
come
I
out
picked
there and he
Euros.
said,
Whoa,
"Oh,
whoa,
you
whoa,
did."
whoa,
He heard George and I then, huh? We picked Muslim Salikov to sleep him, and he come out there and proved us wrong, man. Good on Euros Medic, and man, back to the drawing board for Sadikov.
Yeah, I thought this one. I was telling Lacey, and I'm pretty sure I said it last weekend on the podcast, that this was either going to be an absolute slugfest banger or a quick knockout. And luckily for us fans, it was a quick knockout. George?
Man, the king of kung fu got caught early by Medic's blitz, eating punches for a TKO at 103 of round 1. Medic wins. Salikov spun kicks like a ballerina, but Medic said, "Not today, good sir," and turned it into a mugging. Medic's Serbian fury was on point, short, sweet, and savage, leaving Salikov wondering if he forgot his crown. On to the co-main, sir, with
Yes.
Matt Schnell and Josef Morales.
Yes. Co-main, Matt Danger Schnell was in danger. Joseph Morales, good Lord, getting it done in
Danger,
round
Will
1.
Robinson, danger.
Yes. Joseph Morales getting the guillotine in round 1 off of a beautiful transition. Something that I would like to break down later this week. Joseph Morales transitioned to a crucifix perfectly, just weaved his leg in there, and then from the crucifix, let Matt Schnell start to escape it to jump to the guillotine, and that guillotine was tight, boy. Good Lord. Matt Schnell is no slouch in the grappling department himself. And to see Joseph Morales come and do that to him, just incredible. Bright future for this guy. What do you think, Will?
Man, he was in the UFC. He got cut.
No.
He had to go through the Ultimate Fighter. He had to win that shit. He had to fight Eminal Rodriguez, who is going to be one of the top prospects in the UFC. Just got signed from Contender Series. He had to beat him in that show to win. He also had to beat that man. I can't remember his name. The Kazakhstanian
Enrique.
fighter there. Yeah, in the
Eduardo
finals.
Enrique. Oh no.
And no,
That
it was the
was
finals.
Idris
Idris.
Alabibi.
Yeah, Idris Alabibi, who is a fucking killer, man, who is also going to get signed to the UFC, who is also going to run through that division. Joseph Morales has great boxing. He's a student of the game, and he also went to Gilroy, California to train with DC for this camp. And Ricky, Why didn't you do that shit? Why didn't you try that one? Let's try fuck the strike in. Let's go to the crucifix. He
Yeah.
had a cornucopia
Well,
of submissions
Ricky
there.
couldn't get him to the ground. That was the problem for
No,
Ricky.
that's facts. Yeah, no facts. He probably tried that shit. He had a cornucopia of submissions. He had the there's a Kimura there. He had just control from the crucifix to land damage. The rear naked was there, and he just really was patient and let Matt Schnell pick for him what submission he was going to get him with. He set up, like Tanner said, right into that ghillie, and Joseph Morales didn't just shoot the guillotine and flop on his back. George Novos watched me teach this in class, the finishing mechanics of a guillotine. You gotta get that. You kind of got to squat to them, secure the neck, secure the choke before you can get your spine tall and all this kind of things. Joseph Morales had that choke slapped on him as soon as he came around, technically perfect. He didn't go to his back until the head was going in the hole and he was finishing the choke. It was so freaking awesome.
He did a good job of crunching as Morales came into, or as Schnell came into him to tighten that, and then, like you said, putting the head in the hole. I want to point out that his 2 losses were from his first UFC stint. He had one win, and then he fought Davison Figueiredo.
No, right.
Lost that by knockout, and then he had a split decision in the UFC. It was like, we're done with you, which is wild. But glad he's back in. George, what do you think of this one?
Man, Matt Schnell shot for that takedown and got reversed into a guillotine. Tapping him out. Schnell went from flying to dying real quick. Morales, dude's on a roll. That choke was tighter than Sheepskate's wallet. This co-main stole the show early. Schnell's corner must have been yelling, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't take that." Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm sure they were, man. All right, let's move on to our main event. At 170, Gabriel Bonfim making weight and then getting the second round knockout over Randy Brown and 50K alongside it. I mean, he was just from the start picking Randy Brown apart with the leg kick, throwing that calf kick, and the first one had Randy Brown spinning, and then Randy Brown didn't address it at all. And if you don't address something, well, your opponent's going to take advantage of it, And he did for sure, was beating that leg up. Towards the end of the fight, if you looked at Randy Brown's leg, it was just battered. It was swollen and lumpy, not looking good. And then Bonfim landed that knee in the clinch and shut him down. Randy Brown wanted to protest it, but I mean, he got shut out. Like, if you watch it in slow-mo, you see his eyes shut off, everything. He was shut off. And then when he hit the ground, he woke up. No, bud, you don't need any more CTE, okay?
Yeah.
Don't protest that. What are you doing? What'd you think, Will?
Yeah, I think, that stoppage, I think, was warranted, right? Like you said, he didn't want another Marco Tulio incident, right?
Yeah.
But also, that was a situation where he absolutely needed to get in there and get on Randy because, like you said, Dominic Cruz pointed it out. When he hit the floor, he woke up. He was out, and the way he fell indicated it, right? He fell like a dead body, honestly. But
and
to your credit,
was ready to strike again. So
right, he was. That calf kick, man, it's so hard to defend. A lot of times guys will check in the same way you'll check like a high leg kick or when somebody's attacking the top of the knee, or the knee joint itself, and you won't check it correctly, much like Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier.
Yep.
After the fight, this was their second fight. After the fight, they asked Dustin, why was it so effective? And it was because Conor was checking incorrectly. Not that he wasn't checking. He was checking as if you would, check the knee. Well, he exposed that calf while he did it, and it led to him getting lit up. Randy Brown did the same thing, but his calf got destroyed on the first kick, just like Tanner said. And then Randy was trying to stomp it out, trying to feel it out the rest of the fight, right? And he wasn't doing well with it. Bonfim, as you should do, strikers, if something works, you need to keep going back to it. You need to keep throwing your jab and get right back to that leg because you need to program into that guy's head everything in my power right now needs to go to defend this one thing that is hurt. What's that do? That lets you throw it high and kick him in the face. He did that. He got Randy Brown. He kicked him in the head in that same round that he dropped him with. Got him with the knee. I just feel for Randy Brown, man. I love the guy. You know, I'm a big fan. I love the way his game
Oh,
he
rude boy.
displays his striking. I love Rude Boy. Hopefully he gets a favorable opponent in his next matchup. Gabriel Bonfim, definitely the better Bonfim brother, definitely more dynamic in the grappling, and now he's knocking out strikers. I don't know what you do with him next, but whoever he gets next has their fucking hands full.
And I want to point out this is why MMA math never works, because both of these men fought Nicholas Dalby, and Nicholas Dalby actually knocked out Gabriel Bonfim in the second round with knees and ground and pound, but lost to Randy Brown by knockout.
Yeah, in the second round.
Yeah, all round 2 finishes by these boys. George, what'd you think of the main event?
Man, this was really good. I don't know, like you said, why he's protesting a quick finish because he was out cold.
He didn't know, probably.
Yeah.
He did not know.
When you get shut
Bonfim-
off like that and you wake up immediately, you have no clue. I mean,
Didn't know.
ask Will. He's seen me get shut off and wake up and go, no, I'm good. Nothing happened.
He double legged me though.
That time, the time the triangle,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you don't know sometimes. You get shut off and then wake up immediately. Your brain's like, no, we're good. What are you talking about?
There might have been a sparring session one time. Tanner ate a Superman punch and he woke up while he was trying to double leg me.
I don't know.
Allegedly. We do have a witness who shall not be named.
Oh.
Dude, Brown's leg looked like chewed up gum by the end of that. And Bonfim, he went in full out Brazilian beast mode. And he called out Colvin Covington post fight and said he'd retire him. So that's awesome. This is like watching
believe
a
he would.
gazelle versus a lion. Brown was Rude Boy turned Bruised Boy. What a card. 7 finishes out of 12. Bonus, flying, and enough controversy to fuel Twitter wars for weeks. Overall rating, I give this one an 8 out of 10. That's amazing at the Apex, bro.
Yeah, this was a great Apex card.
We always
Okay.
shit on them, and then when they happen, these guys that fight at the Apex, they're trying to get on those fucking numbered cars, guys. They're trying to get on those pay-per-view cards, those big ones with the Pereiras, with the Holloways. So when they go in there, they feel disrespected in that Apex, and they want to go really put it on a dude.
Well, look, sometimes we get a good one, and sometimes we just get good finishes out of Apex cards, and then sometimes we get like shit ones, like last week. Yadir, Isaac Dolgarian. Never mind. But we still had great stuff that happened in that. Waldo Cortez Acosta came out of that, looking great.
Right.
So can't always sleep on the Apex cards. They're usually gonna have something entertaining because some people just get crazy nerves when they're in like a big arena, and going into the Apex, it's a lot smaller, it's a lot quieter, so you can see some super exciting stuff because all the nerves aren't hitting them the same, Let's move on.
Ooh, George, you and I are going to disagree on one of these fights.
So before we jump into UFC 322, I want to
I already know. You think you're going to walk away on the main event. I already know. And you're wrong.
Oh man, are we all going to disagree on that? What's
I
going
don't
on?
know. I think I'm going to see you in the gym tomorrow or Tuesday, George. Come at me, dog.
Okay, I got to talk about another event that is happening this upcoming weekend, same time, but pay-per-view for 173 Superbon versus Norai. We've got some all-stars on this card.
Lovato,
Jonathan, Yeah, Jonathan Haggerty was supposed to be on this card, by the way, but he had to withdraw. He was supposed
Is
to
Luke
fight
Lisi on the card?
Luke Lisi. I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't believe so.
Oh, I know
No.
he's in camp though, so fingers crossed soon we get Luke Lisi.
Yes, but the guy that Haggerty was supposed to fight, I didn't want Haggerty to fight. He is a
Oh,
problem. Nabil Anan, he's a giant, and
oh, I know who that is.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
There's a video of him and Rod Tang, and he's just out. He's just way bigger than Rod Tang, and they're messing around. But you can tell Rod Tang's like, that would be a problem.
Isn't he young? He's a young
Yes,
guy, right? He's
super young.
super 20,
Yeah,
19.
21.
Mm.
Just turned 21. He is a problem. He's one to watch. But he fights at 155, and he's fighting Hiromi Wajama, which is a Japanese guy, Japanese kickboxer who's good in his own right, but he's going to have his hands full. Then we have Tairu Tolo doing his second MMA fight against Shozo Isojima, who's a 6-0 welterweight. So that'll be a fun one to see.
Hopefully
Aoki's
he
on
tries to
this
wrestle.
card.
Oh, hey.
Shinya Aoki, the 60 pro MMA fight veteran, is on this card, fighting Haruki Tetsuka. Shamil Rodin, he's fighting on this card.
That was
Let's
good.
see.
Rodin?
Yes. Christian Lee, the 170 champion over there, is fighting. He's fighting an undefeated Turkish fighter, Alibeg Rusalov. That should be a banger. Then we have Rod Tang fighting Nong O for the vacant bantamweight belt. That's going to be a banger. Jake Peacock making his return against Sorjor Tongparajin. Then we have Stamp Fairtex fighting. We have Dennis Persick fighting. Dennis is just an absolute banger. He's another guy that's fun to watch. He's fought Rod Tang to decision. He's fought a lot of the Muay Thai legends. We have Superlek fighting Yuki Yoza. We have this is the one that I'm looking forward to the most out of all of it. Rafael Lovato Jr. grappling against Giancarlo Badoni. I know you love Lovato. I know how much we like Lovato, but
I
think
know what we're looking at here.
yeah, I think Badoni's getting him.
He got him in ADCCs, the last ADCC.
Yeah. Then the one bantamweight championship for MMA is Yuya Wakamatsu taking on Joshua Pasiao.
Bless you.
Pasiao is an absolute banger. This is going to be a really fun one to watch. Pasiao fought Jared Brooks last and just absolutely destroyed Jared Brooks. Had to vacate his title, which Yuya ended up winning. He's fought Jared Brooks 3 times, by the way. Jared Brooks beat him the first time, then threw an illegal or spiked him illegally the second time, and then got his ass beat the third time. So Joshua Pasiao is a phenomenal grappler, but his striking has come miles. And I don't think Yuya is ready for all that. I think Yuya is going to go in there and try to strike with him and get ragdolled. And probably choked out. But the main event for this one is Superbon taking on Masaki Norai at 155 for the kickboxing lightweight championship. And that is going to also be a banger. Don't expect many people to tune into that one, though. You picked a horrible time to throw this card on and to make it pay-per-view, because at the same time, we have UFC 322. Good Lord. It's a banger. We've got 2 title fights going on. We've got Jack Della Maddalena taking on Islam Makhachev for the 170 strap. Islam's coming up from 55 and trying to attain that double champ status, get out of Khabib's shadow. And in the co-main, we have Shevchenko fighting Weili Zhang. for the flyweight title. Wiley also looking for that coveted double champ status. But we'll get into that later. Let's start at the beginning of this card where we have Slaviclaus taking on Mateus Camilo at 155. I like Slaviclaus. I really do. I think Mateus is a problem, but I want to go with Slaviclaus on this one. Tell me I'm wrong. You think I'm wrong?
I don't even have that fight. I think just knowing those guys, I and the sprawl and brawl from. Look, I'm going Slaviclaus. I think he can keep his hips away from him. I think he can land to the body, and then I think he's going to go up top. I'm going Slaviclaus.
Okay. George, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking Borshev overwhelms the noob with volume. I see a TKO.
Okay. I like it.
Put that in your parlay.
So
Put that in your parlay and smoke it.
yeah. Is Slaviclaus I don't think
I don't
there's
have the
out
odds
this
on
one.
here.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. 145 men's featherweight. We got Chepe Mariscal taking on Pat Sabatini. This is going to be a good one. I'm going Sabatini.
Ooh,
Yeah, I know.
machine gun, baby.
I
think
think
it's machine gun.
Sabatini's
I
going
think
to
it's his
grab a
fight
hold
to
of him.
lose.
I think Sabatini's going to try to beat him up, but I think he's going to get grabbed a hold of. I think Sabatini's just going to drown him. You think Chepe?
I think that Sabatini has every potential in the world to do that. The only thing that, I wouldn't pick many guys with the skill set of Chepe Mariscal to beat Pat Sabatini in a fight like that, not in a grimy fight because of the skill of Pat. But Chepe Mariscal is also like freakishly durable, freakishly strong, and he has that Colby Covington gas tank. And where you're going to see him beat a lot of guys he shouldn't beat just from durability and the ability to just put a pace on them. Chepe Mariscal, if you're giving me close to pick him and he's the underdog, Chepe, bud.
Okay, I figured. George, you on that Chepe train?
Well, to call out our good friend from Anchor, man. Champ Kind here. It's going to be a hugger versus a slugger. Whammy! I'm going with Cheppy.
I got Chunk staring me down. Yes.
Nice.
All right. Next up at 135, Malcolm Wellmaker was supposed to fight Sergey Side. Side had to be withdrawn. He had his shoulder dislocate. So that sucks for him. Hopefully he can heal up. But also, good on him. Now he doesn't have to fight Malcolm Wellmaker. Unfortunately for Cody Haddon, he does. I'm going Wellmaker by murder. What do you think, Will?
Every part of me is
Just say
rooting for
Wellmaker by
Malcolm
murder.
But this Cody kid,
I know he's coming out of Australia.
You know who he trains with already. Don't even gotta tell you, the Volkanovski.
Well, he trains at Louis Strode Combat Academy.
Look, yeah,
So
but that's
he trains with
Quinlan.
Quinlan. Yeah,
Quinlan Salcat. But you know what Quinlan is best at? The jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. And you know what Malcolm Wellmaker is not very known for? The jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. I'm a big fan of Malcolm Wellmaker. I follow all of his social medias, every one of his training sessions. I see him hitting pads. I see him hitting heavy bags. I see him sparring on the feet. And I know because I saw it happen in the last month. He just got his blue belt in BJJ, Tanner Dunphy. Malcolm Wellmaker just got his blue belt in BJJ. And Cody Haddon is every day in the gym with a Quinlan Salcad and that group of just monster grapplers. Salcad threw that head kick because he couldn't find old boy. He was frustrated. He couldn't get to him. So he just chucked the head kick up there and knocked him out. how many fights have we seen that Quinlan be in where he's piecing somebody up on the feet and he ends up strangling them? These guys are complete mixed martial artists. They're very good wrestlers. They're very good jiu-jitsu guys. They have a good kicking game and a great brain for this. Malcolm Wellmaker, if he touches your chin, you're going to fucking sleep.
Mhm.
But these guys come out here and they put a round and a half, and some shit that George hates, where we're taking that striker down and making the blood get heavy in his arms and making him defend and getting his cardiovascular up. And then we start striking with him and take him down. I think that we're going to see the welcome to the UFC moment for Malcolm Wellmaker. And I think he'll get way better for this, but I don't see him beating Cody Haddon.
No. Okay. All right. George, what do you think?
You know, Wellmaker, Union Strong. Fuck that guy from Australia.
Okay.
This is the
I
fight I
like
was
it.
talking about. We were going
I
to
like
argue about.
Okay. Next up is we've got extra large Chase Sherman taking on RoboCop. Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez. I'm
Oh,
going
God.
RoboCop.
Yeah, he's the favorite. Yeah, Kapilov, I don't that RoboCop jiu-jitsu. RoboCop's bigger, longer, and has way more power than Kopilov. Kapilov could throw a bunch of kicks to get him to stay on the outside, but how long can you do that for? How long can you throw full power kicks to keep RoboCop on the outside? I don't think you could do it for 15 minutes. And I think RoboCop only has to touch you once. And if you shoot like in a panic situation, or if RoboCop gets a wild hair up his butt and he throws you down with the judo toss, you're effed. RoboCop all day long.
Judo.
Yeah. George?
Yeah. Gregory Rodriguez. His prime directive is to delete another guy's jaw.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right.
His whole head, if he's close enough.
Yeah, if you can. And I don't see Kopylov taking him out.
I don't see him being better than him anywhere.
Yeah. And I see him cracking Gregory, but I see RoboCop just walking through.
Mhm.
I'm curious about this next one. At 185 as well, we have Bo Nickel taking on Rodolfo Vieira. This was originally on the main card, and then they pushed it to the prelims because people were upset that Bo Nickel was on a main card again. This is a tough one because Rodolfo is a legitimate black belt, an absolute animal. He's beat a lot of the grappling legends like Bernardo Faria to win IBJJF Worlds. He beat Jean-Jay Ribeiro. He's had draws with Broyo Estima. He's beat Lucas Lete, Leo Lete, Felipe Pina, Yuri Samos, your boy, Rafael Lavado.
Back
So-
up. You made your point. Slow down.
Fair. So I'm curious to see how he'll do against Bo Nickel. That being said, I'm taking Bo Nickel. You know why? Because we watched the black belt hunter get cracked several times and get tapped out by Fluffy.
Doesn't
who's
count.
Also a great wrestler.
Fluffy would kill Bo Nickel.
Yeah, absolutely. But Fluffy in
Not fair.
2021 wasn't the same Fluffy we have now.
Okay, here we go. Rodolfo Vieira switched camps. You know where he fights out of now?
No.
Fighting Nerds.
Oh shit. That's a problem.
Yep.
Why'd you have to tell me that?
Yeah, I just saw it. Honestly, I swear to God, I didn't have that as like a. Sometimes I have information in my back pocket. I try to spring on you. This was not one. I found out as you found out. Ouch. Yeah, he's coming out of the Fighting Nerds. He's got a higher fight IQ. I think, once Bo Nickel gets him to the floor, it's going to be a real what the fuck did I just do to myself situation. It's not going to be like Paul Craig. Rodolfo Vieira grapples nothing like Paul Craig. Rodolfo is going to try to be in that mounted position, in that top half guard position. I'm struggling with my chair right now. Boom. And he's going to be throwing submissions, legit ones, chokes, arm bars, scrambling, getting to the legs. Wrestlers kryptonite, legs. I don't know, man. I really think that we could see Bo Nickel have a real tough time in his career after this fight, and we're going to see Bo Nickel 7-2. I think he runs into a trap, and it won't have anything to do with striking.
Okay. All right. We'll see. George, what do you think?
Um, just because I want to be that guy, I think Nichols gonna come back and win because he got embarrassed by that body shot.
Yep.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with
can
you.
see that too.
Bo Nichols' hype's bigger than his beard.
Whoa. Speaking of beards, at 185 as well, we have Gerald Meat Shark taking on Kyle Dawkins. I'm going with Dawkins on this one all the way.
Yeah, bud. Kyle Dawkins is that long-rangey sniper, huge power, and he's not afraid to wrestle with him. Gerald Mearshart, could he pull off a submission? Yeah, but it's weird how this guy beats dudes he's not supposed to. He's very much like a Neil Magny. But yeah, Kyle Dawkins, first round knockout. Put it on your books.
Mm-hmm. George?
Yeah, I don't see Meat Shark getting one of those desperation miracle submissions on him. I
Meat
think he's gonna get I think he's gonna get a big fat knuckle sandwich from the deli. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah. The next one's interesting. We have a women's 115 bout. Angela Overkill Hill taking on Fatima Klein. Angela's hit and miss sometimes. You know, she's one of the OGs of the division. She's been there since the inception, but she one fight she'll beat up, a Denise Gomes, and then the next fight she'll get beat up by a Tabitha Ricci, you know, or she's lost to Tisha Pennington or Claudia Gadelia, Michelle Watterson. Um, I I would like to say Angela Hill, but I think Fatima might catch her with something, and then we see Angela not fighting at her best potential. What do you think, Will?
Dude, what is Angela Hill's best attribute? It's that Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, yeah.
Fatima Klein has like 100 Muay Thai fights, and she
Mhm.
was a story, just decorated Muay Thai fighter. And she is 8-1 in MMA. Her only loss is to Jasmine Jasdavigius, and it was a unanimous decision where she struggled a little bit in the grappling, but towards the end of the fight, she was getting up and she was doing just fine. She against Dudakova, she faced a little bit of adversity in the grappling, came back and knocked her out in the second round. Martinez, she knocked her out in the third round. When you have late round knockouts and you're primarily a striker, it shows that you can weather the storm. The footwork's not going to be a problem with that MMA threat of the takedown because you're good at defending takedowns now. If you do get taken down, you can get yourself to the fence 2-on-1 and get up. If she can do all those things against Jasmine Jasdavigius late in a fight, I don't think Angela Hill's going to be that much of a problem. I think Angela Hill gets caught on the way in, and it's good night, Irene.
George?
Oh man, it's really hard to always go for the old war horse, but I think that this one is going to be a split decision, and I think that Angela is going to get her heart broken. I really do.
Okay. All right. Next up, another men's 185. We've got Bisanger Sursakayev taking on Eric Monconico. I'm going Sursakayev. I think the hunter is going to keep hunting. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, but just like Kyle Dawkins is going to get it done in round one, Sursakayev is going to take the old boy's head off early in this one.
Yep. George?
McConico sounds like a special on a fast food menu item. I'll take the McConico with extra KO sauce, please. Surakayev grinds this one out, unanimous decision, but McConico's power makes it interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Next up, we have a women's bout at 125. We have Erin Blanchfield taking on Tracy Cortez. I'm going with Erin Blanchfield on this one. What do you think?
I think you're right. And I think Vegas's line also shows that just because you're pretty doesn't mean you're the favorite. Vegas has got Tracy Cortez at a plus 205 Aaron Blanchfield at a minus 255. I think we're looking for Aaron Blanchfield, either ground and pound or submission. You're going to have to bet it like that to make any money. I don't see Tracy Cortez beating Aaron Blanchfield, if I'm completely honest. I think she's more of a dog and she's got a better skill set. Yes, Tracy Cortez does go to Fight Ready and train with Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo. So her wrestling has improved, but I think Aaron Blanchfield's a better finisher in the jiu-jitsu realm and in the striking realm, and I think she puts it all together that much more better than Tracy Cortez.
Okay. George?
Yeah, I would either go with this fight won't go the distance or just straight out Blanchfield by submission. I think armbar.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised to see her getting a submission. All right, let's start off this main card because bangers all around. Banger to start us out. At 170, we've got Sean Brady taking on Michael Morales. This is, I'm just going to go Sean Brady. We're going Sean Brady on this. I think Morales is going to crack Sean Brady, and then we're going to see Sean Brady turn that wrestling on. He's going to put the singlet on, tie his shoes down, and we're going to see him try to ragdoll and hold Morales down and try to beat his face off. What do you think, Will?
Okay, so my purple belt heart wants Sean Brady to do something fucking dope in this fight. The size of Morales is going to come into play, the range that Morales keeps, and I think the fact that Sean Brady cuts so much fucking weight to get to welterweight, it's insane. I'm worried about the water, the hydration around his brain, because, you know, Morales is aware of this shit, man. He's going to go out there and he's going to put it on him quick. My educated martial artist and jiu-jitsu brain picks Sean Brady, but that little gambler and that little crazy guy on my shoulders telling me Michael Morales knockout round 2.
Okay. All right. Is that your official pick?
That's my official pick.
Okay. George?
Morales is younger than some fighters' tattoos, and Brady's like that uncle who wrestles at family barbecues. After I watch what he did to our boy the last fight, I want vengeance. So I'm going with Morales. I think it's going to be an upset, and I think, like what Will said, he's going to keep the distance. And the only shot that your boy's got is if he just smothers him like country fried steak. Because
he's a phenomenal grappler.
It's not.
He is phenomenal.
I mean, in grappling, he has wins over like Craig Jones. That's enough said.
No heel hooks allowed.
Yeah,
but that being said, dude, I'm thinking Morales gets him out of there in round 2, but believe you wholeheartedly, if Sean Brady gets him down at any point, I don't care if Michael Morales was just tap dancing on Sean Brady's forehead. If Sean Brady puts you down, it could only take one takedown.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. Oh, okay. Let's move on. In the men's lightweight division, we have Benny Dariush taking on Benoit Saint Denis. I'm such a fan of Dariush. He's been in this game for a long time, but this is a tough one for him, man. Benoit is just a tank, and he keeps coming forward. I think we see. No, I'm doing it. I'm going with Benny. I'm going Beneil Dariush. I think he's going to get it done.
Vegas has Benny at a plus 160 underdog too, so you might like that for your parlay. I like Benny. What really encourages me is the beating that Dariush put on Renato Moicano, and you know, MMA math. We could be completely wrong, but Renato Moicano made it one-way traffic against Benoit Saint Denis with a broken clavicle going into the fight. Talk about a motherfucking G. Renato Money Moicano.
Then he broke Benoit's face.
Then he he beat up Benoit pretty bad. You know, the tear that Benoit's been on since he lost that last fight, was it? Yeah, to Moicano after Poirier, right? Did he fight
Yeah,
Moicano after?
yeah.
Yeah. So Moicano was his last loss, but he's been on fire since then. I
Yeah.
just, it's kind of like the same feeling I'm getting in that Morales Sean Brady fight. The educated mind is telling me Benoit Saint Denis, the younger guy, the dude that's on a tear, but my heart is telling me Benny Dariush via submission late.
Submission. Yes. George, what do you think?
Saint Denis sounds like a fancy wine aged to perfection, and Darush might cork him. But since we're going,
Nice. Fuck yeah.
since we're going submish, I think that Benoit Saint Denis is going to get the tap.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
probably a massive. You need to check that on DraftKings because tapping Benny Dariush, who is AOJ black belt, Art of Jiu-Jitsu black belt. That's a fucking tough deal there. That's a bad boy.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's talk about this. 170. Good Lord, the MMA gods have blessed us again.
Yes!
We have Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Strikers galore. Or do we see Leon Edwards try to mix it up and grapple Carlos?
100%.
Because why the fuck would you stand and bang with him if you can grapple like he can grapple? We've seen Leon Edwards take down phenomenal wrestlers.
Usman?
I mean, look at what Usman, Colby Covington. I think if he decides to stand and bang with Prates, we see Prates put him the fuck out.
Yes.
I think if he decides to grapple, we see Leon Edwards get the dub. That being said, I'm going Prates.
So there's a certain very young jiu-jitsu athlete who has spent his last camp at the Fighting Nerds helping them with their jiu-jitsu. I'm going to give you, he is a Brazilian, obviously. I'll give you one guess.
Baby
who it
Shark?
is. Nope. Even worse.
Oh no, Mikey Musumeci?
Mika Galvao.
Oh yes.
He was helping them in this last camp, along with a guy we just talked about, Rodolfo Vieira. So you have Carlos Prates, and I'm more excited about the Fighting Nerds connection with these two guys because of this fight, way more than the Bo Nickel fight. Because you're telling me I'm getting world championship level jiu-jitsu from Mika Galvao and from Rodolfo Vieira, and I'm pouring that into Carlos fucking Prates, a southpaw blender of a striker that no one wants to be on the feet with at all. Ian Gary shooting takedowns on him. We got Rodolfo fucking Vieira, Mika Galvao teaching him jiu-jitsu now, along with the great minds at Fighting Nerds and all his great sparring partners. Yes, Leon Edwards can be successful in takedowns. I just don't know how successful he's going to be once he gets him down. We saw Carlos Prates get up from Ian Gary, who is, by all rights, he trains at Shoot the Box, Charles Oliveira, and Damian Maia every day. So I think that Carlos Prates is going to be able to avoid that realm. And I think that it's going to, by the end of the first round, I think Leon's going to be like, okay, I realize I can't take him down and hold him down, so I'm going to stick to the striking. By the end of the first round, I think we're going to see Leon start to get worn on because Carlos does he does the traditional Muay Thai. He punches his way into the pocket. He'll hit you with elbows. He goes knees to the body. And he invests in the body early. So once he defends that takedown, he starts to beat up on your gas tank. He's going to be elbowing you in the clinch. By the time that second round starts, I think we see that 1,000-yard stare in Leon Edwards' face where he realizes he's on a fucking island with Carlos Prates and he's the only fucking thing out there to eat.
Also, if he's training with Mika Galvao, that's incredible. If you aren't a fan of jiu-jitsu, you think it's boring and you think crotch sniffers, all that shit, do yourself a favor and watch a Mika Galvao grappling match. That guy is exciting and explosive and a problem. His jiu-jitsu is phenomenal. He's beat some of the best in the game. So if you're not a grappling fan, do yourself a favor. Just watch some of his highlights and you'll go, okay, that's a problem. George, what do you think about this fight? Who do you have?
Ever since I witnessed the beauty of, purple Lamborghini in person, you know, that's what I'm going with. I'm going with him. And also, the reason why I threw my hands up like that, it wasn't because of Will's excitement, which is infectious, and I like that. It's the fact that not only did I get to see the Bears win today, I just got to see Aaron Rodgers throw a shit fit because he got safetied in the end zone. I always love it whenever he starts pouting.
I love it when Aaron Rodgers is catching strays on an MMA show.
Damn.
Hey, I'm just like Anonymous, We forgive, but we don't forget.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Let's get into this co-main.
Oh, I'm so
We
excited
have
for this fight.
Valentina Bullet Shevchenko taking on Magnum Weili Zhang for Shevchenko's 125 strap. I think Shevchenko is just going to be too big for her. I think her striking is going to outdo it. I think Zhang is going to catch Shevchenko by surprise with how fast she is and how explosive she is. She hits hard. She's tiny, she's fast, and she hits so hard. But Shevchenko's on another level. I think Shevchenko's going to get caught with a few big ones by Zhang, and she's going to tighten up, and we're going to see classic Bullet, where she's picking her apart and then mixing in a little bit of clinch, a little bit of grappling, and just shutting Weili down. What do you think, Will?
Okay, here's my MMA math. I think if you put Alexa Grasso and Weili in a cage together 10 times, Weili walks out 9 times the champ. And that being said, Valentina had that draw and the one loss. Yes, she spun, got her back taken. I think Weili's grappling is above Shevchenko's. She goes everywhere with her jiu-jitsu coach, Josh Hinger, and they are all the time game planning. She has world-class Muay Thai instruction. They actually both trained at Tiger Muay Thai, not at the same time, but Shevchenko's famous for training there. She's one of the spokespeople for there. Yeah, I think Weili, so you give her freedom now. She's not going to go through that weight cut like she did before. She's going to feel great. I think she's going to be healthier, more explosive. I think her power is going to translate even more. And I don't see Shevchenko being able to impose her will, even the size. Okay, yes, I'll give you, she'll be a little bit bigger, but Shevchenko will be going through that weight cut. She's documented the weight cut is not the best thing in the world for her. It takes it out of her. That's why she did so well with the Nunes fights going up. She had that advantage. She could be a lot more healthy. Well, you're giving that advantage to Weili. And I don't know, man. Weili, until she gets done up by one of these girls, she had the knockout against Rose, tough loss, stuff like that. But man, I'm going Weili, and I bet the fucking house.
We'll make a little side bet on that. What do you think, George?
House.
The whole house?
The whole fucking house. Honey.
Zhang hits like a freight train from China. Is it ironic that they also have bullet trains in China? And Shevchenko's the bullet and Zhang's the Magnum. I gotta say though, I agree with Tanner. I feel like whenever she gets under fire, she goes back to the grappling. And although Zhang has better jiu-jitsu possibly, she totally humbled Grasso. I mean, she had enough of that shit. She was like, oh, you're going to call this a draw? All right, I'm going to embarrass this girl. And who does Grasso train with? So I think the same thing's going to happen. I think she's going to get hit, and then she's going to be like, all right, we take this to the ground now. And like I said, and like you said that I hate, she's going to make Weili tired from trying to get up. And those explosive strikes will be gone.
Yep. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it no matter what. I'm going to be excited whoever wins. Right. This is a fun one.
This is one of the best women's combat sports fights. I'm not even saying MMA. One of the best women's combat sports fights to ever been matchmaked, and it's a long time coming.
I
One
think
thing
it's right behind Shevchenko Nunez.
I think that once it pans out, I think it has potential to be the greatest women's combat sports. They're just so evenly matched. Shevchenko's a little older. Wei Li is a freak athlete. You know, it's just got so many things tied into it. And by all means, I won't be upset if Wei Li loses. I love Bullet, but it's just coming from my opinion. I think Wei Li's going to get her.
I think you're right. It's such an exciting fight. Like I said, I think it's only behind Nunez. Shevchenko is one of the best women's fights
Yeah.
in there.
And speaking of which, even if you win this fight, don't you still lose because you get to fight her next?
Who, Nunez?
No, she's not ever getting back to
25.
25.
No,
Never.
but Shevchenko would love
Never.
that rematch, and Shevchenko fought her at 35. I thought.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. She did. She fought her at 35, and she expressed in those fights that, hey, I felt pretty good at 35 because the weight cut kicks my ass.
Yeah, and she weighs in like a pound and a half light when she does 35.
Uh-huh.
So, but do we see her win this and then go for Kayla Harrison if the Nunez fight doesn't pan out?
I don't think so. I think she's only got a couple left in her, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm really excited about this main event, though. We've got JDM, Jack Della Maddalena, taking on Islam Makhachev for the 170 strap. This will be Jack's first defense of his title after winning it from Bilal Muhammad. Um, I think he's got his hands full. I think he thinks his grappling is way better than it is, and I think we're about to see him get Dagestani mauled. What do you think?
I think it has a very high potential of that. Yes, I do. I believe in Jack Della Maddalena's grappling. I believe in his striking. And it's gonna be competitive. It's gonna be fun. I think Jack's attitude is what sets him apart, right? He doesn't care. He doesn't care how bad it goes. It was evidence in the my Brazilian that I love so much. I can't think of his name right now. Gilbert Burns. It was evident in the Gilbert Burns fight because Gilbert was giving it to him, right?
Mhm.
He just keeps trugging. He's got Craig Jones in the camp. Craig Jones flew down there 4 months ago on his own dime. His own dime, and went down there. And so did Volkanovski. He flew out there on his own dime. He's got a great team. He's got, his confidence is high. He's working his ass off. But this is a situation that I was talking about with Wei Li and Shevchenko, and I'd be a hypocrite to deny it in this fight, especially with the skills that Islam Makhachev has. All that judo, all that jiu-jitsu. He's a murderer in the striking too, guys. Don't forget, he is a southpaw fucking assassin. He just finishes guys on the ground because why wouldn't you if you could do that? If you
look what he
had
did
that
to Volk.
ground game, right? If you have that ground game, why would you not do that and not take damage? Yeah, exactly. Volk made it a very bad struggle in the grappling. Volk was competitive, and Volk took him down. So what'd he say? He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to use my striking, not even do that. Head kicks him. I think with a 15 fucking pounds up Islam. First of all, we're going to see at the weigh-ins, Islam's going to look like a Greek fucking god in the body. At 170, I expect him to be terrifying. And if he doesn't have to close the distance recklessly. He could just follow his 2 in. He could shoot. He could do judo, whatever he wants to get it to the floor. 15-pound advantage, that level black belt. I think we see Choke City, Islam Makhachev, and New.
Mm-hmm. I believe so too. George, what do you think?
Man, let's see. JDM versus our boy Islam Makhachev. I think he wrestles like Khabib's cooler cousin. I think JDM boxes like he's dodging kangaroos. I think Makhachev's ground game dominates, and I'm not gonna stop calling him that. You're welcome, P. That's ingrained in my brain. Yes, I know it's Maka, whatever, but we're not gonna do that.
One point
I think
when you're done. You finish, and then I'm going to tell you something about him that might change your pronunciation. But go ahead.
yeah, I know how to say it. It's Makachev, and I think he dethrones him. After grinding, I think, obviously Jack's got a shot if it stays standing, but it's not going to stay standing.
One thing real quick. Coach Mo, he could have those guys at the gym at some point, and I'm going to say Makhachev.
Always.
Mr. Makhachev.
Well,
Oh man, what
considering
if we
you
see him
said,
hit the Mrs. Makachev in there?
if
Damn it.
if those guys over there are having the stuff we talked about earlier, could you imagine the whirlwind that would happen if you're like, oh, by the way, Khabib's here. Andy brought his
Oh.
buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we tell Habib what goes on over there, and he gym storms them and taps everyone.
I have come to make you humble.
Okay, well, that is our our recap and our preview for this weekend. Boys, do you have anything else you want to add? Or
Tomorrow, 8 p.m., I have an interview with Indiana Jiu-Jitsu athlete Bryce Watson-Korn. He's a blue belt, and he will be he just competed at Fuji. He got all the medals. He got a gold, a silver, and a
Hey.
bronze. He put a guy out with a Von Flue choke, sent him to the Valhalla Club all the way to sleep. And he
Yes.
came down and he actually got some work with us. What was that, George? Last Thursday? Coach Will was showing him some wrestling in the form of throwing his little ass around, and it looked like he retained some of it to put it on his guys in this tournament. So proud to hear it, proud of Bryce, and happy and looking forward to talking to Bryce.
Yes. George, you got anything to add?
Man, I am just so happy that we are approaching the third quarter going into the fourth of how many of these podcasts we've done. We are in the winter. We started in the winter in Will's garage, freezing our asses off. So we're going to have a whole year of this down, guys, coming up. And that's amazing. And I look forward to this every week, doing it with you fuckers. So
Yes.
we're going to keep this murder train rolling.
Year's right around the corner with us. We're there. We're close. All right. Appreciate it, guys.
You guys have a great one. Love you.